Hello friends, how are you? Today we shall begin our new chapter, that is light, shadows and reflection. When we enter a dark room, the objects present in the dark room are not visible. It is a common observation that when we enter a dark room, we cannot see what is there and what is not and where it is placed. However, if we switch on a bulb, everything in the room becomes visible. The source of the light may be bulb, tube light, burning candle, CFL or LED bulb or torch. But why it happens? The question is, why it happened that when it was dark we couldn't see anything, and when we turned on the light, everything was visible. Why it happens? The bulb gives out an invisible energy called light. See, light itself is invisible. Light itself is invisible. That means we cannot see light, but we can see objects through it. So light is an invisible energy. Please underline this. When the energy falls on the objects in the room, it bounces off from the surface of objects. It bounces just like if we throw some rubber ball or tennis ball on some surface such as wall or floor, it bounces back. Just like that, this light also bounces off. When this energy enter our eye, this bounce of energy, after striking to an object and after bouncing from there, when it enters to our light, then our eyes sense it and send a signal to the brain. Actually, what happens that our eyes convert this light into signals which are sent to the brain, and brain actually sees the things. This is our brain which converts those signals in meaningful images. Eyes are only an aid on seeing the objects around us. So now you know that we do not see by eyes. Eyes are just an aid to see. Actual seeing or actual vision is from brain. Now why do we say that light is invisible? Well, when light energy falls on the object, we really do not see it. When energy bounces off from the surface of objects and enters our eyes, the sensation produced by this energy helps our brain to see. Thus, to sum up, we can say light is an invisible energy which causes to us the sensation of vision. Please underline this. This is a very important line, that light is an invisible energy which causes in us the sensation of vision. When the light falls on any object, it bounces off from the surface of the object in all the directions. This is called scattering of light. Please underline this also. This is the definition of scattering of light. What does it say? It says that when light falls on any surface, it bounces off in all the directions, and this event is called scattering of the light. Now let us move to the next point. What are the sources of light? An object which emits light, means gives light, is called a source of light. All sources of light can be classified in two categories, namely natural and man-made. There are some sources of light which are natural, just like sun and moon, and some are man-made, like bulb, tube light, CFL, torch, etc. Sun is the primary source of light for the planet Earth. It is a huge ball of burning gases and gives out a tremendous amount of heat and light energy. Its heat energy we can feel in the sunlight. Stars are also distant suns extremely far away from our solar system. To us, they are weak sources of light. In addition to it, a glowing electrical bulb, a burning candle, a lighted torch, a glowing fluorescent tube, a kerosene oil lamp, a Petromax lamp, etc. are sources of light. These are such as electric bulb burning. All of these are man-made sources or artificial sources of light. Insects like glowworm, firefly, and fireflies emit light in darkness. There are certain kinds of fish which emit light, and there is a particular kind of algae which also emits light. Now, luminous and non-luminous bodies. The objects which emit their own light are called luminous objects. Please underline this. This is the definition of luminous object. What does it say? That all the objects, be it natural, be it man-made, if they are emitting or giving their own light, then they are called luminous objects. Such as sun is a luminous object because it emits its own light. Tube light, bulb, CFL, all of these are also luminous objects because they give their own light or emit their own light. The sun and the stars are examples of natural sources of light. Jugnu and lanternfish also emit light. An electric bulb, burning candle, and a torch are man-made, that is artificial sources of light. The objects which do not emit their own light but are visible due to reflection of light falling on them are called non-luminous objects, such as moon. The example of non-luminous objects are moon, earth, chair, table, book. Everything which we can see is non-luminous because it is barring luminous. All the things such as you and me, chair, furniture, utensils, vehicles, moon, earth, all of these are non-luminous because they reflect light. Now let me add here that what does it mean by reflection? We have studied earlier that light rays bounces off any surface. This bouncing off the light rays is called reflection. I repeat, bouncing of the light rays is called reflection. Now let us move ahead. All of you must have seen the moon at night giving out cool, milky, white light. Similarly, you must have seen the planet Venus, which appears like a very bright star during early evening, which is called evening star. Why do we call them non-luminous bodies when actually light is coming from them? Well, the simple reason is that they do not produce their own light. Instead, they reflect the light of the sun falling on them. Hence, they are non-luminous bodies. How can non-luminous bodies be made luminous? A non-luminous body can be made luminous by heating it. By heating it, if we heat it to higher above than a particular temperature, then they start emitting their own light. For example, if we take an iron wire and heat it on a gas flame, in about 2 minutes the iron wire will get red hot and start emitting light. As at this moment the temperature of iron is between 600 degree to 800 degrees centigrade. Now this, what we did, we just simply by heating converted a non-luminous object into a luminous object. When the light falls on an object, it reflects back. This is known as reflection of light. We are able to see the objects only when the reflected light reaches our eyes. In a dark room, if we switch on a torch, we will be able to see not only that object on which the light falls, but also those present close to the object on which direct light is not falling. This happens because the light spreads in all the directions. This phenomenon is known as scattering of the light. This light spreads through the air. This is the reason why we are able to see objects on which the sunlight is not directly falling. Path of light is called ray of light. Please underline this. This is the definition of ray of light. The path which light follow is called ray of light, and which is represented by an arrow. The head of an arrow gives the direction in which light propagates. A group of parallel rays is called a beam of light. See, this is light. Now this head of arrow is showing that light is moving from here to here, and if I make this like this bundle of arrows, then it will be called, then this will be called beam of ray, beam of light. This will call beam of light. Non-luminous materials can be classified as transparent, translucent or opaque according to the way light behaves when it meets them. Take 3 different types of objects and observe the behavior of light on them. Objects can be, one is colorless polythene paper, second is oily paper, and third is cardboard. Now place each paper one by one in front of your eyes and raise it towards the window or any other source of light. It can be bulb, it can be tube light, it can be actually do not try to see directly towards sun because it may harm your eyes. So apart that, you can see any object. Is there any difference? Now when you are seeing there, will you find some difference? Yes, there will be difference. What will be the difference? That you will observe that the objects look unchanged when viewed through the colorless polythene paper. The wax or oily paper makes the object look frosty and dull, just like as if there is haze between you and object. Through the cardboard, objects cannot be seen at all. If cardboard is in front of our eyes, we cannot see at all. The light rays easily pass through polythene paper and enable us to see the objects beyond the polythene paper clearly. Thus, the objects or materials through which light can pass totally are called transparent objects. Please underline this from here, from thus to this object. Now, this is the definition of transparent objects. And what is it? Objects or materials through which light passes through completely, all the objects or material is called transparent. Materials such as glass, water and air are examples of transparent objects. Cellotape and polythene, those are also example of transparent. Through oily paper, the object could be seen dull and faded. This is because light passes through it but only partially. So that's why we cannot see things clearly and they appear dull and faded. Now such objects are known as translucent objects. Now what is the definition? From which light can pass partially only. I repeat, objects through which light can be passed partially only, those objects are called translucent objects. Materials such as oily butter paper, tissue paper, ground smoked glass, muddy water are called translucent. Translucent objects absorb light partially and scatter the remaining light. Light falls on the objects only partial, therefore the objects cannot be seen clearly through them. This is the reason why we cannot see through them clearly, because they absorb some part of the light and let the remaining light pass. While in the transparent material absorbs not a single ray of the light. It let all the rays pass through it. Through cardboard nothing can be seen. This is because the cardboard absorbs all light falling on it and does not allow any light to pass through it. Such objects are known as opaque objects. Wood plank, book, brick, wall. In short, all the objects, because this category is very big, all objects which are not transparent and all objects which are not translucent, all those objects are opaque. So what is the definition? They does not allow any light to pass through it. Such objects are known as opaque objects. Such objects means opaque objects form dark shadows. From the above discussion, we can conclude the following definitions. First, optical medium, anything that is material or non-material through which light energy can pass partially or wholly is called optical medium. Please mark all these, because all of these are important and these definitions will work for you up to at least class 10. Till then you have to study science compulsorily, and after that will be your choice, so then you may change it, but till then at least these definitions will work for you, so please mark them. So optical medium, anything through which light energy can pass partially or wholly is called optical medium. Homogeneous medium is an optical medium which has a uniform composition throughout is called homogeneous medium. For example, glass, diamond, distilled water, a sheet of clear plastic, vacuum, pure alcohol, etc. are homogeneous. That means there is no change in the composition in a sample from one place to another. Heterogeneous medium, an optical medium which has different composition at different points is called heterogeneous medium. For example, air, muddy water, fog, mist, cloud, smoke, etc. are heterogeneous, because in given sample, composition of the sample varies from place to place. Transparent medium, a medium which allows most of the light energy to pass through it, is called transparent medium. For example, glass, diamond. Actually, diamond does not allow light to pass at all, it reflects. Thin layer of water, air, vacuum, certain kinds of clear plastics, alcohol, benzene, etc. are transparent media. Now, what are translucent medium? Translucent medium are a medium which partially allows the light energy to pass through it is called translucent medium. For example, ground glass, muddy water, smoke, just filled air, fog, mist, clouds, oily paper, butter paper, tissue paper, etc. Opaque bodies, those bodies which do not allow the light energy to pass through them are called opaque bodies. For example, bricks, stones, wood, and articles made from it, or articles made up of from wool, cotton, article made up of metal and coal. All of them are opaque bodies. We can never see through opaque bodies because they do not allow the light energy to pass through them. Point source of light. Point source of light A source of light which is of the size of the head of a common pin is called point source of light. Extended source of light. Any source of light which is bigger than the point source is called an extended source of light. Which means any source which is in the size of a point, then it is called point source, and if any source which is bigger than this point source is called extended source of light. Ray of light, the path along which light energy travels in a given direction is called a ray of light. This is rays of light. These are rays of light. We can see them. We can see the path of light here, like here, like here, and like here, here and here. This is rays of light. It is represented by a straight line. The arrowhead shows the direction in which the light energy travels. Beam of light, a collection of large number of rays of light, is called beam of light. About these two, we have seen the diagram which I have prepared for you. Now, everyday phenomena which show the light travels in a straight path. Now we will look at some phenomena which will prove that light travels in a straight line. The beam of light coming from the projection room in the cinema hall suggests that light travels in the straight line. When we go to the theater to watch a movie, and if we observe, then we will find that there are 2 or 3 or 4 holes, square holes in the wall behind everybody, and you will observe that light is emitting from those holes continuously when movie is running on the screen. And you will observe also that that light is traveling in a straight line up to the screen. That's why those holes are kept at the highest point of the movie theater, so nothing can come between them and screen. And when some people stand and start walking, then you observe their shades on the screen also. That's how we can see that light travels in a straight path. Formation of day and night suggests that light travels in the straight line. If this were not so, the light would have curved around the earth and there would have been sunlight during night also. This is another proof that light travels in a straight line, because if it does not, then it can turn around the sphere of earth and could reach anywhere. So we could see sun in the night also. The light coming from small laser torches used as pointers suggests that the light, we all have seen small laser torches which are used in pointers. They also suggest that light travel in straight line. Formation of shadows suggests that light travels in straight line. A shadow forms because light is moving in straight lines. So when they fall on some object, the rest of light which is not falling on that object, that passes by the side of that object, but light rays which were falling on the object are obstructed and the object does not allow them to pass through, and that's why we see shadows. This property of light by which it travels in a straight line is called rectilinear propagation of light. Please underline this. The property of light by which it travels in a straight line, this habit of light in traveling in a straight line is called rectilinear propagation of light. In the next class, we shall study about pinhole camera and many other things. Till then, take care of you, study hard and obey your parents. God bless you.